Hi there. Same Dragonfly time, same Dragonfly channel. Today we got over something really special for you, which is going to be Haaken Soul versus Zadi Raven. Good to see you all here. I will also give you a minor spoiler. This is a really long set. I've watched it a couple of times over the years, and the stream video is like an hour and a half. So I'm gonna try not to get too caught up talking about every little thing, but I will say this is a matchup that I have played a lot because Soul is like the most popular netplay character, and in Rev 2.1 I think this is a solid 6-4 matchup in favor of Soul. They're playing on Rev 2.0, which was the version where Raven was the strongest because he had his old orb, ground orb, that stayed on the ground, and he had the new excitement system. So overall, I'd say that this version of the game was probably even, because I do think that Soul has a pretty significant mobility advantage, but he still had to deal with Oki with Raven's Oki just like the rest of the cast. Whereas in the current version, because it's harder for Raven to get the orb set up in exactly the right way, it's a lot easier for Soul to challenge. I also think that given both players hitting their combos consistently, that's going to result in a much higher damage output for Soul than it does for Raven, which is going to mean that if you're playing as Soul, in addition to having the damage race be in your favor, you're also going to have the chance to just randomly stun Raven off of like 2 combos or 2 big counter hits. And there's a very particular moment that comes up fairly late into the set that I'm going to highlight, which really embodies what it looks like when everything goes wrong for Raven. Because when it rains, it pours in this matchup. Vincent, wasn't Raven's orb much more brainless to use before? Yes, it was. So this is the version of Raven that has the orb that stays on the ground, and it gains excitement level, or gains hits, and it gains attack level, so additional hit stun and block stun, as Raven's excitement increases. Which means that even at level 1 excitement, Raven is going to do 2 hits on the orb, and that's going to enable an instant air dash glide, which is going to enable a really obnoxious block string. I'm going to skip forward a little bit. Here's Haaken on the left and Zadi on the right talking about their approach to the matchup. Zadi's saying, I'm going to try to throw as much ice cream as possible as I can. Haaken saying, it doesn't even matter if I win or lose. I have fangirls. My girlfriend loves me. Cheating bastard. And now we actually have a lot of fan art, because something that's really cool about this game is that, something that I adore about this game, which I don't think I'm ever going to find again, is the community. Because very few other communities would look at a character like Raven and think, what a cool guy. What a cool character Raven is. Let's draw him as a cute little chibi guy. Gaster, 6H counter hit? Yes. For Soul, that's one of the big counter hit up buttons he can do. Although, honestly, I've been playing against a lot of Souls. Some are good, some are bad. And I've noticed that even the bad ones can, like, confirm 5H into a counter hit combo. Because it's like 5H counter hit into instant air dash string, or into Bandit Bringer on crouching hit, and a 5H on normal hit. It generally doesn't lead to much. Sometimes you can like air combo with 5H super jump instant air dash. There's a lot of fan art this week. I have a suspicion that people just like drawing Soul and Raven. Gaster, 2H and 6B does crazy damage on counter hit. Yeah, from Soul's perspective, it's like 6P, 5H, 6H, 2H. Although Soul actually doesn't swing with 2H that much, which is crazy because it's a really good button. 2D is another big one. Jump D or Jump H sometimes on counter hit, but it's Haaken's not really the kind of guy who just sends 2H or a Jump D in the air. Also, I think this is like a reference to Dragon Ball. I'm not entirely sure. It might just be the artist's style. I might just be an uncultured weeaboo who sees Dragon Ball everywhere. Okay, there we go. It is? Yeah, okay, cool. And we're gonna go forward just a little bit more. Okay. And Haaken's here, so you know he's gonna wait down the timer to 69 every time. I'll let him do that once. Haaken going through a whole friggin' martial arts warm-up routine. That's like what I did. Okay, not quite that, but that's like what I did this morning when I was doing my martial arts. So I was looking at the patch notes for Rev 2, like for Revelator to Rev 2. Raven basically just, he got his new excitement system. That was kind of it. Soul actually did not get that many changes in Rev 2. Or like Rev 2.1, I forget. He's remained like mostly the same. I think the only thing he's really missing in Rev 2.0, as opposed to the current version, 2.1, is like, he doesn't have a run flame. So if he does a gun flame while he's running, he won't like slide forward in front of it. Also, I'm going to point it out. Look at what the round start looks like for Haaken every round. This round, the round start was just him backing up and seeing what Zadi would do. Yeah. This is what I love about like air dashers, is that the footsies game is like so interesting and stimulating. I'm kind of surprised that Haaken is not representing like 2A, like instant block on the 2H or the 2S from Raven into instant air dash. Vitz, here I am. Hey, nice to see you, Vitz. Oh, and yeah, this is what that big combo looks like for Soul, but you can see Raven's defense actually a pretty relevant defensive option. Like if Haaken did not have super here, he's gonna like close around a super. If he did not have that super, Raven gets to live through that, and he still gets to attempt to guess right on the mix-up. Or survive the mix-up, I should say. It's not like a guess. But like, it's weird because Raven's like defensive mechanics are like pretty non-traditional. But the fact that like he just doesn't die when other characters do is actually like fairly meaningful, because it will make people mess up their combos and their combo calculations. Haaken extremely passive. Yeah. That's something you see from Raven very occasionally, is the jump into OTG with the needle. That is like, that basically fucks up the Oki because the timing doesn't work out. But it does mean that you get a little bit more control of the screen afterwards. Sorry, I'm going to look at this for just 1 second here. Let's 5H counter hit on crouching. Ah, but you see he was slightly late on his canceled into Bandit Bringer. Yeah, he was like a couple of frames late, so this doesn't work. That does combo on normal hit. And that's not a punish. Bandit Bringer is 0 on block. Instant blocking it makes it -4, and Raven's fastest normal is 5 frames. Yeah, and you can see Zadi is like prioritizing just putting the orb there. Oh wow, nice. Like he's not trying to do that too much, like that 2S, because that 2S is susceptible to stuff like jump or instant air dash and Bandit Bringer. Oh, you're not reacting? I see that. This was so fucking stupid. As much as I love Raven having fucked up projectile Oki, it's so stupid that it's like, oh, you got reaction checked on a command grab, and now you're blocking 3 attack level 3 hits of a projectile and making this like high-low completely unfuzzyable. Cool, you didn't fuzzy it correctly, idiot. And now he get okay. Well, okay, Zadi does the wrong combo there, but he could have done 2D scratch, TK orb, and it would have continued looping back into itself. Yeah, you have to do TK scratch there if you want the if you want the air orb to connect. In this version of the game, fucking whatever. Just do whatever combo you want and then do ground orb after. It's all good, man. But the excitement drains out from Zadi there, so Haaken's passivity works out for him. Majin Obama pointing out very eruditely, you might get tired watching this. It's been like we've been at this for how long? It's like still game one. I love the micro dash of the combos. They're so satisfying. Zadi has 2 more guesses. Okay, or 2 more interactions to survive. If he'd done the idiot burst there, the panic burst, then it would have worked out, but it doesn't work out. And this is what happens. This is my experience playing the matchup, is you can play correctly for like 45 seconds, 50 seconds, and then Soul gets on you once, and it's like, goddamn, none of my defensive options line up against this character's pressure. Because Raven likes to mash with 4P, which is his really good 5-frame normal. But it loses to low profile stuff like Soul 2D and Soul 6P, so you might want to use 2P instead as Raven, which is 6 frames, but it at least hits lower. But that's actually still losing to Soul 2D, because Soul 2D is a button where Soul activates his elemental connection to the plane of Earth and simply merges into the ground. Anyway, that was one game. Okay, yep. Haaken, round start, back up, and send the 6H. Ooh, nice, 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 nice. I do love the counter hit effect. Getting a wall bounce with the scratch, it's really, really satisfying. Oh no, confirm. That's interesting. Majin Obama points out that Haaken was saying that he had lost a lot to Zadi because Haaken was not moving properly. And it was just Yomi about movement. Ooh. Haaken willing to spend meter just to avoid having to deal with whipping wild throw in Raven's face. I will say, you don't see it a ton because of Raven Orb in this version of the game, but when Raven gets a hit like this and he does horizontal glide, this is almost always losing to Wake Up Volcanic Viper from Soul. I just want to see if Zadi times this correctly. 1, 2... That's the first hit. Yeah, I think that's like the first active frame of Raven Jump H. The 3rd hit. And then... yeah, I forget exactly. I've never been able to do that consistently. It's a really annoying window to hit because you're trying to hit a 5-frame window with a 3-frame active move. Vismond, I imagine this matchup is very mentally taxing for Raven. I think that's a great way of putting it. Like, in terms of the mental game, I think it's like a 7-3 matchup in favor of Soul. Like, on paper, it's probably like 6-4 in the current version of the game. But, like, on paper, the knowledge that you can just, like, look at that. Like you send something... Sorry, I'm gonna whine just a little bit. You do this, yada, yada, whatever. And you do like all of this, and it's like, okay, I set him up, I correctly juke him such that he's not just anti-airing me and I don't die. So it's like, oh, success, right? No, fuck you, air throw. Oh, hang on. Whoops. Okay, are we good? Are we back? The stream conked out a bit for me. Are we okay? We good? Okay, yeah, all right, I'll go back a few seconds. Sorry, the cultural differences between the arcade scene and love this combo. Oh, not okay. Okay, just wants to cash in the damage. Makes sense. The cultural differences between the arcade scene and like the North American scene is that in North America, where like if you have some bullshit, you should be doing that bullshit. In Japan, it's like they're all really respectful. There's like this refined way to play, and it seems like they all want to play that way as much as they can. So even though Soul benefits a lot from doing like stupid shit in this matchup, like bandit like Riot Stomp. It's like Haaken is trying to play in a way that is like respectful and interactive with Zadi. Like, I'm looking at Zadi, like Zadi's way better than I ever will be, but I'm looking at him just standing in front of Sol and doing like far S nothing, 5p2k, far S nothing, and I don't know why the fuck any Sol player on the face of the earth is just like not fucking HVVing through all this. Yeah, nice. Nice. Kill him for that. That was a shitty glide, and Zadi knows it, and he's gonna live this. This is the guts at work. Raven gets to live this. Most other characters would have died. Vismund. That's why nobody played Elfelt in Japan. Oh, right, because Elfelt's like the character for people who are new to the game or bad at the game. I always wonder what the perception of characters like that is, because in this game there's, like, historically there's Mei, who's the character for people who just, like, she's meant to be like new player friendly. And then there's Elfelt, who's like the Xrd version of that. And then like Jacko, who has like simple inputs. And I think those are like the characters who are known for being like really simple and really straightforward. And they're among 3 of the least played characters in arcades somehow. And it's weird because like Jacko was pretty damn good when she was first introduced to the game. I kind of want to learn Jacko, honestly. Maybe that'll be a goal for the new year. I can make it like a stream goal. But it's like, that's an interesting interesting interaction with Gunflame. I was looking at the hitbox interactions of Gunflame and how it behaves recently because I wanted to understand a couple of weird things that had happened in the Raven matchup. I'm going to go through this in super duper slow motion so you can understand it. I think it goes deeper than that when it comes to Elfelt, but okay. Well, maybe. I don't know. It's with Elfelt in particular, it's just strange to me that a character who's obviously so good is like just not played for whatever reason. Like, even if there's a perception of her being scrubby, like just play the character, she's good. Anyway, Gunflame. So the way that Gunflame works is very deceptive, because so the pillar appears here, right? And then the hitbox appears along with it. And that hitbox does not move forward. It just stays in place for 9 frames. And then the next pillar appears and the hitbox appears with it. And then 3 and 4. And it does not move forward, except for the fact that it kind of does because it clips Raven here. So I was curious as to what the exact range of plus on block versus slightly minus on block Gunflame can be is. And I realized that if you're blocking it in neutral, like just Sol is doing a block string into Gunflame, it only has 4 frame data values that it can do, which is the first hit of each pillar. But if Sol is doing it on Oki, then it can hit at any point in there. So even though technically the first hit of Gunflame is like slightly minus at point blank range, if Sol does meaty first hitbox of Gunflame, because it's so active for like 9 frames, it's going to be like plus. And I found that like that's really interesting, and that's a kind of design that you don't get in modern games where the hitboxes are generally more tame, or they're a lot more comfortable giving moves arbitrary behavior so that they can do exactly what the developers want them to. Yeah, like, and there's just so much, there's so many instances where Haaken is willing to be patient and respectful. Nice. Yeah, kill him. Or burst him, I guess. Nice. That was actually a godlike backdash into an instant air glide. Oh no, you fool! You tried to do a combo on Sol that wasn't 2H. You tried to do it. I thought he'd do an RC there. No, he's gonna do Gunflames. Oh, never mind. Kill me, I guess. Oh, you guys were talking about the least played characters in the arcade? I think the actual least played characters are like Bedman and Jacko. I have an image that, fucking, what was it, from like 2020 or something, or like 2019? No, I have an image back from like 2018 when Rev 2 released. And that's a little uneven because Haaken was fairly new at the time, and Haaken's consistently been one of the most popular characters. Astonishing to me that Haaken's not just like whiffing 5k at every opportunity. Nice. That was actually a really good reset from Zadi. It's like, you have time to confirm that he's blitzing too. Like, it's so fucking... Come on, spend the meter! Okay, never mind. He knows. He's better than I am. Shadow Vincent, time up in my Guilty Gear game? Impossible. That's these two players, man. They're more than willing to be patient. We got 99 seconds on the clock, and we're going to use them. I'm going to have to skip 30 seconds every time we go to character select, because Haaken wants you to know that it's going to be 69. Vismond, Haaken is extra respectful from the years of playing pot. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So both of those knockdowns that Zadi just did, as well as this knockdown. So in the current version of the game, because the orb sucks, the 2D knockdown that leads to orb also sucks. So you almost always prefer to do a 2H scratch or a 5H scratch. And therefore, that combo routing would have, or like that round start set play would have been completely different in the current version of the game. You can't kill him here, can you? No, I don't think so. The fun fact, which is kind of weird, like the slowdown that Raven gets from the needle goes up half a second with each level of excitement. So at full excitement, it's 2.5 seconds of all of your horizontal speed being cut in half, which is an enormous amount of time. Accent Core Pod is not a respectful character at all. That's true. Frankly, I think that's true of both like vanilla AC and plus R. Was AC and Potemkin... Sorry, did AC Potemkin had an infinite unblockable or something like that? Yeah, so he had... Oh, nice. Nice, actually. He had some weird property on, I think it was 5k for some reason, that removed OTG state. Like, he would do a knockdown into... Fucking, what was it? Basically, he would be able to loop... He'd be able to do the unblockable hit of Slide Head, and then OTG you with 5k into, like, a full combo. And then that would build, like, meter and put you into a knockdown again. Nice run through. It's actually, like, weirdly difficult to go through Gunflame with Raven's forward dash. For the because of the stuff I was explaining earlier. Like, because the hitbox doesn't move forward, it's, like, the graphic on a Gunflame is actually very deceptive. The hitbox remains stationary for each pillar, even though the visual effect looks like it's moving forward. And therefore, getting all the way through it with Raven sort of requires you to, like, overshoot where the fire actually is. That's Raven's defense coming into play there. Nice air throw. Raven gets to live through all of that. Okay, never mind, he's dead. I was gonna talk about how Raven gets to continue playing, but Zadi just got counter hit, so he's dead. Haaken using the blitz's invul to get safe. Yeah. Yeah, that's the interesting thing about holding blitz in this game, is that you're completely invincible during the startup, not the startup, during the initial frames of the blitz. When you catch something and you choose to continue holding it, you can basically commit to repeatedly tapping blitz. It's as though you've repeatedly tapped blitz. And so that lets you be, like, invincible for a long period of time. Although you can be thrown, and you are still considered to be doing either the standing or crouching. So it's not totally foolproof, but for, like, spacing, stuff like that, it helps a lot. It's the rejection frames that have invul. Yes. Yeah, like the Yeah, once you successfully catch something and you reject somebody, then that's it. Yeah, and that's the testament of the power of this low to the ground orb from Raven here. He goes in, he gives up Oki completely, and he still gets the B+. That's like the real testament of how good Okizeme is. Because that's something I've noticed about like characters like Soul or Venom or Melia, or like who have really good Oki, or who are just top tier in general. Like Melia can just give up Oki and just do like some stupid air dash bullshit, and like air dash forward, air dash back, and it just doesn't even matter. Chip going to be an issue for Haaken now. Yeah, 2S Y or C. Visman, yeah, sorry, you asked, was that Fafnir as Oki? Fafnir can be useful as Oki, yes. It's, sorry, I missed the exact thing, but, so Fafnir sort of pulls Soul's hurtbox back while he's moving forward. So it has some use, and it also is like naturally delayed because it has a like 18-ish frames of startup. Gaster, who are the players that have the most win rate on the arcade other than Machabo? That is a good question. Ooh. Typical... Sorry, okay, before we go into this, this is a little bit of a pain point with Raven. Completely correct, uses the glide as a whiff, yada-da. Sorry, Jump H doesn't hit Soul with the first hit, so the combo drops. Sorry. This is why I've gotten into the habit of just doing Jump SPS all the time. Yeah. Gunflame. I think Haaken's the only guy who would play Soul and go into Dragon Install and do fucking Gunflame Feint. If you are guessing that the opponent is going to backdash or just block, then yes, Fafnir is good for Oki. Right, yeah. That's a simpler... Yes, that cuts to the point of what I was trying to say in far too many words. Yeah, chasing backdashes is also pretty relevant for an Oki option in this game. Nice super jump instant air dash. Because backdashes are fucking good in this game, even the ones that kind of suck. So being able to have something that covers a backdash without instantly giving up everything else is really nice. Oh, nice whiff punish with the air dash. That's a shame. Ooh. Okay, that was like several layers of blitz mind games. Zadi representing immediate burst on the wild throw combo there on 5H. I would expect to see Haaken do a burst safe version of that combo the next time that situation comes up. Wow, that was really weird. Ooh. It's weird to see Haaken like react to oh, maybe he was worried about the grab YRC, so he didn't want to go forward and get tagged by anti-air grab or 5H or something. Nice instant block. And that just barely kills. Bisman, fucked up that they made Dragon Install actually usable instead of a shitpost super. Hey, it is a shitpost super. It's just a high effort shitpost super. They went to the trouble of making Dragon Install Soul have unique animations for getting instant killed. So obviously they had to go through the trouble of making Dragon Install good, right? DI is lit in this game. Dragon Install and Xrd is like one of the coolest supers in all fighting games, and that's a fact. I don't care what anyone says. I agree with you, Vincent. I could not have said it better myself. The fact that it's actually worth the risk is a huge balancing factor. And it's really nice because, like, when you do Dragon Install combos as Soul, it's not just the same combo, except it just becomes better. Like, it's actually a fundamentally different combo. Oh, there's a lot of damage, actually. Yeah, look at that. It sort of reminds me of, like, old school action game, or, like, run-and-gun action platformer, like philosophy, where in order to make the player more powerful, they'll give you, like, a new weapon or a new movement option or something, but they won't just, like, straight up increase the damage you deal. And to me, that's like Dragon Install is like the perfect example of that. Nice. Sorry, I want to see. Sorry, I want to see Haaken do the combo off of sweep here, because this is a cool little variant. Because normally when you do counter hit, yeah, normally when you do this, you can just do like 5H jump combo, but Haaken wants to go for a more damaging combo here, like the dust loop. Yeah, and he does the burst save version because he knows that Zadi was thinking about bursting when he got hit by the last big damage combo. Any Soul players in the chat, when you do a combo and you end it with 6P6H, when you end up with 6P6H, is it better to do immediate gunflame feint, immediate gunflame, or do you prefer doing like late cancel gunflame? Because I feel that late cancel gunflame is just better, but I have to assume that there's some reason why it's not. Late cancel feels better. I'm glad we're on the same page. Oh, that was, I swear that was an anti-air grab from Zadi. Dragon Stall was so cool they had to nerf it and give it to Kai to include it in Strive. Very true. Nice dead angle. Oh yeah, this is actually one of my favorite. Oh, I fucking love this. Zadi's so goddamn good at the game. Okay. I've been meaning to address this point. I've been meaning to address this little interaction. This little microcosm. Okay. Hit stop is a mechanic in fighting games, and I'm tired of people pretending like it's just a visual thing. Okay, Soul, because Fafnir is a go fuck yourself, I'm killing you kind of move, has like the better part of a full second of hit stop on it. Raven Stance, as well as a couple of other moves in this game, ignore hit stop, which means as Raven, you have trapped Soul in hit stop, and even if Soul had meter to YRC this, he couldn't. Which means you get to run up and do this punish, which starts with counter hit first hit of 5H into orb, sweep, anti-air grab. Look at that. That's so fucking cool. Look at that. That's sick. Centurion saying it's better to do late cancel rather than gunflame feint, immediate gunflame. Thank you. That lines up with what I've thought, so I'm glad to hear that. Nice. Man. The dashes from Zadi are like absolutely fearless. I wish I could channel this kind of energy when I play Raven. That's another thing about having the faster ground orb. It lets you like bullshit people in block strings way better and way less risky. Or way less riskily. Attack forward buttons. Yeah. So the meter advantage is pretty seriously in Haaken's favor, but like Zadi has way more life than it looks like he has. Yeah, dead angle makes sense there. Wow. No punish! No punish! Oh. Oh. A lot of chat messages. I'll try to catch up with them. Like cancel's better because you can catch mashers more easily. If you gunflame, you're wasting. If you gunflame feint, you're wasting frames, right? Fafnir, my beloved, beautiful. This last time I was streaming this game, somebody was just complaining about Raven's defensive options, and I told them, dude, just use stance. LMAO. I could not agree more. The thing I mentioned last stream, which had happened to me like a week and a half ago, was that I was playing against somebody as Raven, and he was playing Soul, and then he switched to Raven, so I switched to Soul. And he was mashing the fuck out of stance way more than I had been, and I realized it was actually like kind of a pain. And that's one of the reasons why I find that matchups are sometimes struggling, or that matchups are struggle-full for me, because I just don't stance, and stance is like such a crazy get out of jail free card against so many moves. Mouse Ferratu. I really only use Gunflame Feint if I can read my opponent like a book, or if I've gotten wall splat. Okay, hang on, sorry. Or if I've gotten wall splat and I need that extra little meter for Tyrant Rave, otherwise it feels like I'm wasting frames. Makes sense. Sorry, I want to see this, okay, sorry, what happens? Okay, yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Zadi panic bursting, and this is what happens when you make like 2 mistakes in a row as Raven. Is like, God. Oh, jeez. Oh, okay. Ooh. Yeah. And like this is much closer to what the matchup looks like in the current year, I think. You're like a Baiken who refuses to use parry enough. Well, stance is 4 frames worse than Azami, but yes. I've sometimes met Baiken players who are like, no, I want to play footsies, man. It's like, why? Just do Azami. Just ignore half the shit your opponent can do. Zadi seems to never use supers. Yeah, at this point in the game's lifespan, like Raven's options off of YRC and like Scratch RRC were so much better than comboing into super, because his excitement system was still mostly optional. I think he's like happy just to send out the projectiles or other things and then just spend meter on dead angle or defense. Yeah, see, look at that. 25 meter for a you don't immediately die kind of situation. Okay, Zadi manages to make his burst work here. How dare you attempt to glide at me? Don't you know I'm Soul? Oh, yeah. The players who refuse to use Azami do so because they understand that it's very easy to punish, especially in neutral. I think I somewhat disagree with that. In my experience, and it could just be that I'm scrubby and I don't know the matchup well. But if I play against a Baiken player who uses Azami a lot, it's still not entirely a free punish. And even if it is, and I get the throw, as you're saying, like, I don't know. If I'm Baiken, I'm kind of comfortable eating a few throws to represent getting Azami into Snakura, I believe. That's the horizontal stab into full corner carry, huge damage combo. Personally, that's just me. I'm kind of a rabid animal at heart. Shadow Vincent. Another reason why Xrd is my favorite game in the series is because it's the only Guilty Gear game where insta-kills can actually be practical to use sometimes. They're actually somewhat practical in the older games, but it really depends on matchup. In this game, it's more like that there is a universal, like, practical way to combo into them. So they can not only be practical, but they can be optimal. And that's my favorite thing about this game is they took a lot of like old Guilty Gear isms and they made them mostly useful for a lot of the cast. Mouse Ferratu. Honestly, the most fun I've had with Xrd was with my buddy, and we just round start trying to IK each other. So stupid. RC kill him? Oh no. Mouse Ferratu. Yeah, I know what you mean, Mouse Ferratu. And that can actually have like a little bit of meaning to it, because like you know, if you give up your tension bar, you will learn how to play without just PRCing all of your mistakes away. Oh, nice. Soul 6B is the kind of button, I mean, like every character, every button from every character in this game is a button that you could not put in other games or in most modern games. Like just meterless wall bounce, meterless combo into a dust loop is like such a crazy concept for any normal in this game, or any normal in general. Yeah, you see him flashing white, you know the DP is coming. The last time, okay. The last time this happened, Zadi bursted and he got his burst taken. He was gonna hold it this time. Wild throw gonna lead to some Oki. This is Gunflame YRC. No, walk up 5k. Like a frame kill looking thing. Nice. When Haaken finds his footing, it goes really well for him. Like a lot of the Raven half of this matchup is like kind of smoke and mirrors, I think. Of course, Soul can dust loop off 6p. He's Daisuke's self-insert OCTM do not steal. It's true. It's true. If you want a strategy for playing a good fighting game character, just pick the developer's favorite character or the developer's self-insert. Because he'll never get nerfed. He'll only ever get buffed. Cough cough Ryu in Street Fighter 6. Like, you remember in the old days, the logic was pick a top tier, and then in like the 2010, like the Street Fighter 5 era, the logic was pick an inoffensive mid tier. I think these days, the logic is pick a character that is played by the worst people in the world. Not to say that Soul players do that, but just like pick a character that has the perception of being honest, either because the character is quote unquote actually honest, or because the people who play him are really bad. Oh my, that was gotta be that's a misinput. Ryu has not been top tier for most of the Street Fighter series. That's true. But I specifically mean the way that he's been treated in Street Fighter 6, where the developers are obviously playing favorites with him. And there are characters who have, like, significant issues, so to speak, that just don't get addressed. Oh, sweet, we got orb combos? Nice. Yeah. And this doesn't kill because Raven is low on excitement, and so it doesn't have the damage or the combo ability. Ooh, nice instant block DP. Haaken, that's like the second time Haaken's done that. Nice little single hit confirming the Volcanic Viper. Oh, yeah. So he actually whiffed Gunflame Fate there and still had to time the microdash 2p. Raven's going to lose the game if he doesn't do something there, so he bursts. Nice. Oh, he actually did backdash and jump D still reached. There's another bunch of chat messages. I promise I will read them once once Haaken gives me another minute and a half to consider my life on the character select screen. That's another minor difference in routing, combo routing that wouldn't have happened the same way in the current version of the game. Zadi had like an extended air combo there, and he just decided to do jump S, jump D for the knockdown. In the current version, you'd basically just always do scratch, because the Oki's shitty either way, and you'd rather have the little tick of excitement. Oh my goodness. I fucking love projectiles in this game. Look at this shit. Orb's gonna be on the screen, right? Soul throws Gunflame into the orb. Look at this. You'd assume that the Gunflame would get one of its hits canceled out, but the orb ends like 2 frames before that, and so the final pillar of Gunflame sticks around, and Raven and Raven just gets counter hit by it. Incredible. Okay, yeah, spend 100 meter just to be safe on block. Oh, what? That was crazy. The second hit of close slash counter hitting and linking into another close slash. Raven only got counter hit because he pressed the button. Oh yes, true, of course. But the hitbox being there in the first place is just really funny. Okay. Main character privilege. Vitz, you were talking about how deceptive Gunflame is, but you can't get more visually deceptive than 6P. If you never look into frame data and you're a beginner, how are you supposed to know 6P has upper body and vuln? In terms of like how the hitbox works, yeah. Yeah, it would be... I think all fighting games should have hitbox viewers so that stuff like that can be explored. Xrd's tutorial is very good. Is very good for that, considering the restrictions on it. I'm not sure that it's like... I'm not sure that it's really like a crazy issue if upper body invincibility means like the way the hitbox works is really weird. I don't know. The alternative, I mean, I guess there's 2 points there, which is like upper body invincibility because there's no hurt box, and new player not being able to understand that it has upper body invincibility. But like that, I'm the hypothetical new player. And it's always a bit awkward for me to compare the hypothetical new player to myself, because I remember I had that exact same moment where I wondered how it worked. And the tutorial helped, so like... I want to talk about deceptive moves. Testament 5D is the GOAT. I think Cliff 5D is actually like the GOAT for that. His Testament 5D does have a unique animation, it just looks like bullshit. Whereas Cliff 5D is literally just his crouch animation for like 15 frames, and then it's like pop overhead. Oh no, you fool. You fool. Testament 5D is also not unique as being an overhead that comes from the ground, because Justice 5D is... It's a similar animation, and Jacko 5D in this game is also kind of a similar animation. Nice anti-air, actually. Oh, but he dropped it. That's a shame. Dive kick YRC. I love that. I mean, I hate it, but it is really fun to dive kick YRC at people. Nice. Yeah, see, that kind of scrubby wake-up DP is something I want to see more from Haaken. Because that's, like, actually really annoying for Raven to deal with. Although in this version of the game, the orb means that he kind of doesn't need to, so, like, whatever. There seem to be some connection issues, Dragonfly. I'm dropping a lot of frames too? Oh, okay. That, like, the stream freezes sometimes? So the first time that happened, like 20 minutes ago, I got a message saying that YouTube was getting no data from my broadcasting software, from OBS. This time, I did not notice anything like that happen. I will give it a moment just to warm up again so that it's... Oh, okay, it just fell out there again. Okay, it's back. I think it's back to normal. Yeah, I don't have a ton of control over what the other people in the house are doing. Like, it's probably just my my internet being really shitty, though. Oh, right, yeah, there was somebody had replied to something I mentioned about Ryu in Street Fighter 6 and whatever. I would like to reply to that, but I guess the moment has passed, hasn't it? All I'll say is that if every character in SF6 got the Ryu treatment, people would understand that it's a bad idea. Yeah, and if there are any like other issues like connection stutters, please do tell me immediately, because I'm interested to know if there's anything. I'm interested to know how frequently it happens. I wonder if Zadi was trying to backdash there. Oh, you fool, you tried to Raven 6P. You thought that Raven 6P was a usable button. You fool. Don't trust Raven 6P. Not unless you're stancing. Alright. I'm going to go forward by exactly 30 frames. 30 seconds. And then by 5 seconds. Okay. I will also keep an eye out on OBS, and if it tells me that I'm dropping frames, or that I'm dropping kilobits per second, it seems to still freeze occasionally. Oh fuck, there it is! There it is again! That is so weird. Yeah. Frame health. Frame status. Yeah, okay, that's weird. It's like dropping... It just flickered down. Yeah, I can see it again. Alright. I'm gonna go back a bit. Yeah, and it's really bad now. A question for you guys. When the stream does drop frames like that, is it just visual, or does my voice cut out too? Because I'm not entirely, because I think that audio is a pretty small amount of the total kilobits. Just visual? The voice is fine? I see. Okay, yeah, I just got an image, or just got a pop-up from YouTube. The audio stream's current bitrate is lower than what we recommend. Okay, fair enough. I see. Well, how far are we through this? We're like most of the way. I actually haven't even mentioned the score. The score is what? 6-4? God. Alright, I don't think that there's a ton I can actually do, and I don't want to restart the... To make OBS less sensitive to dropped frames, I messed with one particular config to make it more consistent. Interesting. I tell you what, I'm gonna force my way through it for now, just because I don't want to get caught up troubleshooting things, and I think it's mostly okay. Like, I don't think the stream's being rendered unwatchable. Yeah, let me see which one to see if you can activate it for your next stream. Yeah, if you can, like, provide any context on that, I would appreciate it. I love doing that scratch ROC core anti-air grab combo as Raven. It's a really fun one to hit. I may be a little quiet for the next moment. I'm trying to watch the video on my left monitor, the stream health in OBS, and then the preview that I'm getting in YouTube. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Actually, now it seems stable. You fool! You've cursed it. You've cursed it. Now it's gonna cut out now, right now. Man. That's okay. That is one thing I think is really fun about Raven, and actually several of the like zoner space control characters in this game. is that in order for their big slow moves to connect off of like long range buttons, a lot of Raven's buttons actually have like really high attack levels, which means that they tend to build up a lot of risk, so that when you get caught by something like this, it just leads to like a lot of risk cash out. And that's like a pretty solid, that's like a solid 60% for what, like basically zero risk. Oh, Zadi was, I don't know what he was doing there. He had the God Punish all locked and loaded, but for some reason he didn't commit to it. Oh, that is one awkward thing about Raven's excitement stance, though. If you catch a normal with it, your opponent can YRC or like and special cancel and Gatling cancel. So it's like oh nice. So it's not the end of the story. Ooh. Yeah. Oh, here it is. Goes low. Yeah, burst almost coming back, but he gets stunned. And then burst. That's a soul round. Vits, I wish I could send Prince here. Oh, like links? Move. Vits, I will make you a standard moderator. Try sending a link. Anyway, this round is one of my favorite rounds from this whole thing, because it really embodies what Soul wants to do in like a single beautiful image. And if you look what Haaken is doing at the start of this round, I went back on like my second or third rewatch of this whole series. I went back and I examined what Haaken did at the start of every round. Every single round, it's just patience. Just walk back or backdash or something, wait to see what Zadi does. And Zadi swings at the beginning of every round. And I think Haaken identified that pattern probably like 5 or 6 games ago, but Zadi just kept committing to it. And so Haaken, knowing that he just needs a little bit, like just a little bit of damage, well, not a little bit, he needs one read in order for this round to be his. Oh, you're talking about screenshots. That's a good, yeah. I wish you could send screenshots too, but whatever. Anyway, Haaken cashes in his read and he gets the round. And it's like, boom, giant ass counter hit. Take you all the way to the corner. Goes low. Gatlings. And then this is actually quite smart too. He saw that the burst came back, but you can't burst when you're stunned. So he immediately begins the combo with burst Tyrant Rave. And Zadi never gets the chance to burst. And this is the reason why Soul is a monster in first attempts. That's correct. When your character is this flexible, it's always pretty good. He didn't even have to do hard combos. Very true. Like the hardest thing he did in there was like 2k6b dust loop. But you can just, he could have done like 2k6b jump the dive kick. Instant air dash, jump the dive kick. Sentry, is Haaken retired, by the way? I think he's like semi-retired, yeah? Not entirely sure. I haven't seen him at all in Strive. I know that Mochi moved on to Strive. I don't know what happened to Haaken. Concurrent viewers 0. That seems incorrect. Hang on. Roll call real quick. If you're here, let me know if you're here. Most people have retired. I went to Strive. Okay, so the here? Okay. Dark, okay. So it's just wrong then. That's good to know. Shame on... That's my fault for ever trusting anything YouTube... It's my fault for ever trusting anything that YouTube says. Okay. Reminder, do not trust YouTube. Yeah, whatever. Ooh. I've not seen Zadi do a single block string into anti-air grab this entire set, which makes sense because it's like not actually very good. But oh, nice, not quite. I do against my better judgment sometimes like testing people to see if they're actually just holding up by doing anti-air grab. And so Haaken, with that round, pulled into the like a pretty comfortable lead for the first time this set. Back to 10 viewers. Okay, that makes sense. Sweep under the needle. Cute. Yeah, so we're almost going to get into timeout territory again. Zadi takes the initiative by doing button into... Oh, now there's that anti-air grab that I was thinking about. Now Zadi has the life lead, but it's not an insurmountable life lead. Haaken willing to bet the round on a DP, and sadly for him it does not work out. Yeah, that's a kind of thing about Fafnir that's actually kind of broken. The move has like no whiff recovery at all. Oh, nice. Nice. That was a fucking nice-ass punish off the blitz. Alright, Vitz, I guess if you weren't trying to post a link, then I will remove you as a moderator. I want to look at that orb interaction again. Okay, so in Haaken's case, he's doing double tap blitz there. I think there was like one time earlier when he was doing hold blitz, but he's, yeah, just tap blitz. Makes sense. Makes sense. It was actually a good-ass whiff punish, which you don't see too terribly often in Guilty Gear, especially not in this matchup. Now it's 7-5. It's been very close. Like, I think Haaken has had a game advantage most of the time. I think there's like maybe one moment when it was like even on games. But like the biggest delta was always, or the biggest the delta has ever been was 3 games. So for Zadi to immediately shrink it back down to 2 is really good. He's not just getting outpaced. Man, I need to get way more comfortable doing needle and then like confirming off of it and like acting after the needle. Getting like putting up a wall like that and then converting into a little combo is a really nice thing to do. Zadi baiting out the expected reversal Volcanic Viper there. Oh my god. See, this kind of shit, like, this is the stuff that makes me really respect Zadi as a player, but it also makes me wonder why the fuck, like, how do you get to play a Soul player who just, like, sits still like that, instead of just mashing 2D at every possible opportunity? Orb? Yes. He does the easy combo. Gonna stab super? Yes. Detroyer, as it is called. That was a really nice dive kick. Deep down, Haaken is a pot player, that's how. Yeah, true. Very true. Although it's funny, I think like both Potemkin and Sol are really annoying matchups for Raven in this game. That angle? He dies here, right? Yeah, he dies. Yep. Sometimes being patient and respectful is the wrong thing to do because it gives your opponent opportunities when they might not have come otherwise. I don't know how Pot is an annoying matchup for Raven, but okay. It doesn't seem like the kind of matchup that Raven should lose on paper, but in practice, I think all of Pot's like defensive mechanics line up really well against Raven's Oki. Mostly because backdash, like Raven actually has to deal with Pot backdash, which opens up the door for other stuff. Because like, in the same way that Sol can do Riot Stomp when Raven's doing block strings, and it just goes over 2H and over like far as 2S, or 2S 2H, Potemkin can do that, and he gets to do Mega Fist forward, which is not like a huge deal, but like it is very obnoxious. And it's another thing where Potemkin just dishes out large amounts of stun, and he also has command grab mix. And both of those things are like really annoying for Raven. Oh no, he dropped it? Zadi truly is my goat, finding ways to drop combos that are Gatlings into a special move. Yeah, he was keeping his combo burst safe there, leading with jump H. I was trying to add you on Steam for the OBS stuff mentioned earlier, but I'll try doing that later and focus on the set. Yeah, that's fine, that's fine. I don't actually have Steam open when I do these. I will, yeah. I'll try to make a note to respond to that, or I'll look it up myself. Good dead angle. I think Raven's actually like fairly susceptible to dead angles because of how telegraphed his Oki is. I don't know if that's just me though. Ooh, got punch, you're dead, sorry. Okay, OTG? No. I'm surprised. Oh, hang on. Hang on. That looked like a stutter. That looked, yeah, I'm losing bitrate, 1 second. Okay, back to normal. Let's back up and go to the start of the round again. I think we're back to a reasonable amount of bit rate now. Okay. Haaken's instant blocks have actually been godlike. That's the 3rd or 4th time that he's done the instant block on jump S and the glide into a throw punish. And he's super consistent about it, even early or versus late in the set. Went low that time. That angle. Oh, Haaken tried to do some kind of weird FD thing on the ground, and he just gets opened up by the command grab. RRC? No. Interesting. You're dead, right? Yeah. Yeah, you're dead. Just go into Good Troyer. It takes a small eternity for that super to go through. More stuttering? Okay. Alright, I think we're back to normal. Centurion. Instant blocks, or elite instant blocks, is also a skill you get from being good at pot. It's true, because you actually have to be like really good at defense if you play pot. Which is fun. I've actually gotten significantly better at defense as my time playing this game has gone on. And it's fun to turn white against a block string. Nice. I did not expect that to reach. Ooh. Haaken saw the green flash and he went, oh man. That's like 2 reads on 2 reads. Wow. I love that RC just attack on like 5 points of damage. God damn it, I was looking at the combo, there are more stutters, you're right. Gaster, can Soul beat command grab with 5S or 2H? Yeah, you can mash basically anything against the command grab, just because it's so slow. I think 6B is like technically the best thing to match, or 2D, because they're fast. Backdash also beats both of them because you avoid the anti-air grab and you are throw invincible through the active frames of the ground grab. That's what my friend did a lot when he got used to it. Abysmond, I can never tell how much damage that super does. It always does more than I expect. Yeah, Getroyer is kind of weird. In that case, it had max excitement and Zadi was in Hellfire, so it had a bit of extra damage on the final hit. But it's like, so every tick of excitement is 5 hits. So like one full level, like absorbing an attack or just like hitting with a couple of scratches, is like 10 to 15 hits. Well, it's 15 for 3 ticks, and then if you hit with 2 scratches, that's 10 additional points of damage. So it's actually like very like the grades of damage that it deals are actually pretty meaningfully different, even with small differences in the excitement level. Alrighty, 8-6 in favor of Haaken. I don't know, something about 8-6 just looks worse than like 4-3. Or sorry, like 4-2. Playing a first, like Haaken playing a first to 2 and Zadi playing first to 4 is like such a miserable difference. Nice throw. Air super? No. Zadi really prioritizes using the whoever mentioned it earlier about Zadi not doing excitement or not using his meter on supers was absolutely correct, because he really doesn't like to do that. Normally, if I have like 75 meter and I have the opportunity to do an air stab super, I will. Nice fucking combo though. Fun fact, Scratch is sometimes inconsistent, comboing off of 2H on normal hit, but stab super is never inconsistent. It always combos off of far S and 2H on normal hit because it moves forward so fast. So there is a relevant reason to try to hit confirm into it. It's not just for fun. That was microdash far S 5H super jump instant air dash into burst bait. God. And this is the kind of stuff that really grates on you as a Raven player, is that Soul, God. Like, what is there to say? That was just immaculate Soul play. And like, what pattern was there in there to notice? He did like descending jump P into tick throw. Nice backdash from Haaken. Stutters again? Oh god, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, I can see it on my little preview too. Okay, I've actually paused it now. It's really bad. I'm gonna go back a few seconds so that we can see Haaken escape this corner. Error, YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Yeah, I know. If there was something I could do about that, I would. Okay, we're stuttering again now. We're into the red. Now back up into the green. Cool. Remember to give a like. Yes, this is... While I'm waiting for my internet to unfuck itself, make sure you like the stream. Make sure you subscribe and leave a comment. And I don't think you can hype streams, and I have no idea what hype does. But if you could please get hype with the sub hype, that would be cool, I guess. Yeah, this is a pretty bad one. It's been like orange or red for like 30 seconds now. God. We're so close to the end. I don't want to break up the stream into 2 parts. No, we're back in the fucking red. Now we're back? Are we... Fucking God, this is... Like, I know it doesn't look like anything for you guys, but I'm just looking at the fucking number at the bottom of my OBS window. And it's just going into the... It's just going up and down, and I have no control over it, and this sucks. Okay, this is far too much. I'm going to officially bite the bullet. I'm going to end the stream and restart my internet, and then restart the stream. I will see you in like a minute. Watch this space.